Welcome to Eat My Shorts Podcast. This is the podcast where I take your childhood and I slap you in the face with it. I make you feel old on a daily basis, or whenever you listen to the show. That's the goal of this show, is to make you feel a little old. That is the goal. Anyway, just wanted to say, hey, I'm home. I'm in California, and feels good to be back. Atlanta was a long trip. I always love going out there. A lot of cool things coming up on the show. I have some guests coming on in the next few weeks. I've got my friend Jarrell, who is also known as Enoch the Enlightened. He's a pro wrestler, manager, wrestler within Southern California. We're going to have him on the show. We got Mike Wexler from, he's done independent film work. He does a lot of, he does his own podcasts. We're going to get into him. He's going to be on the show, but he also does commentary for pro wrestling. A lot of pro wrestling stuff coming up. And then I also got Retro Gorilla. Yeah, next week, Retro Gorilla will be on the podcast. We're going to be talking to, whoever's there in the store. So, we'll find out. But we're going to learn all about Retro Gorilla here in Lake Elsinore, the classic video games, retro video games. I'm very excited to do that interview. Also, if we're going to get into it, I'm in talks of a former WWE superstar, so they are going to potentially be on here. So I'm very excited. If you're a pro wrestling fan and you have never heard this show, Eat My Shorts Podcast is all about nostalgia. And you know what? As we get older, as the years go on, the fact is the early 2000s are now nostalgia. Yes, we're getting old. So we're going to have someone from the early 2000s potentially coming on to the show. I cannot wait to have him on. I used to work with him at some point in the pro wrestling world. But yes, former WWE superstar. We are in discussions of having him. And then on the Atlanta side, I will be talking to the store owners of Second Chance Toys. That's right, Second Chance Toys, vintage toy store. They're going to be on the show coming up in the future. Very exciting time to really be listening to Eat My Shorts Podcast. Again, I'm going to do the podcast thing and ask that you all do this for me. Please hit that follow button wherever you're listening, whether it's on Spotify, whether it's on Apple, whether it's on Stitcher, whether it's on Google. Go ahead and give it a follow. However you listen to it, especially if you're watching on YouTube. Yes, I do have a video version of the podcast that comes out every week. It's going to be coming out every weekend. Yes, you'll get the audio first. By the weekend, you will have the video. So I'm very excited about that. It's going to kind of change the landscape of Eat My Shorts Podcast. A lot more content has been distributed on TikTok, so you can kind of see the podcast clips, which is something I hadn't done before. I had never really gotten into that part of it, so I'm very excited to have. I say I'm very excited a lot because it's exciting to me. But to do this was a project that has been, last year was just filled with busyness. This year is kind of like mentally, like I want to do the things that make me excited, that want to make me, be creative, get this outlet. So I'm very excited. Always when it comes to Eat My Shorts Podcast. Give us a follow on Instagram. Give me a follow on TikTok. And you can join our private Facebook group. That's right. There's not much to it. Just ask if you want to be a part of it. I'll accept you. As long as you don't look like a bot or you're some kind of weird thing. But yes, it's all the fun content. Also, let me just push this out there because, just starting the podcast. There is new merch. That's right. Yes, you can get Eat My Shorts Podcast, the new logo. You can get the shirt. You can get a mug. You can get a hoodie. More stuff is coming as the show progresses, but you can get the initial logo shirt. I'm very hoping that you guys kind of join in on that. If you don't know where the link is, you can go to eatmyshortspodcast.com, click on shop, and it'll be right there. Or you can get it through our Instagram, TikTok. If you look at our link tree, that is attached right there in the links in the bios. You can go ahead and click there and you'll see the merch pop up right there. Very affordable, very good stuff. So I'm very, just excited that we're doing all of this. Meanwhile, I got Cynthia over here. She's over here working hard for her money.
I am.
No, she is repairing some kind of electrical device.
I am.
With her goggles on. I wish I could show you. It's really adorable. She's like, please don't.
For their sake, not mine.
For their sake. This is for me. And she doesn't know. I don't even put the podcast out. This is just private. I'm just kidding.
I do listen.
Good. I'm glad you do. That's good. On this show this week, I'm going to do something interesting because I have so many interviews coming up. I am going to ask myself the first initial questions that I'll be asking guests here on the podcast. That's right. Yep. I'm interviewing myself because I have no one else to talk to. Now, on this episode, I'm very excited to, put together the landscape of how you're going to see Eat My Shorts podcast, how the interviews are going to go. So I'm going to be asking myself those questions, and we're going to discuss some of the WWE Royal Rumble predictions like we did last week, just kind of like the updates that I saw. And then also I got a request to review a show. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. It was a request. Let me see if I can pull up. Yep. Let's see. Nope, that's the wrong account. Very good, very good. Yeah, I'm very professional. Maybe someday Cynthia will do the show with me again. I don't know.
You didn't ask me to. I thought you were just doing a video.
You're busy doing your electronics.
You said you were just going to do a video.
I'm doing a video, but I'm also doing the podcast.
You didn't ask.
But you're busy.
That doesn't mean I won't do it.
Do you want to come over here?
Do I?
You don't have to be on camera. You can just sit right behind the camera right here.
Okay.
You're going to come do the show?
I'll come to the show.
She's going to do the show. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. All right. Well, let me get your mic set up here.
Can you pause it?
I cannot pause it, so you're going to have to, just come behind the camera. She does not want to be on camera, so we're going to avoid it. And if she does pop up, I'll just edit her out. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm hooking up for the mic here.
Because I'm wearing my super awesome
Look at that. Wait. There it is.
Care Bear pants.
I'm just kidding.
Stop it.
All right, here. Hold the mic. Look, there she is with her goggles. Look at her. It's adorable. Here you go. Hold your mic. There's your mic. Okay. You're going to stay behind the camera, right? That's
Yes.
what you want to do? Okay.
Yeah.
This is great listening, by the way. Everyone's just listening. Can he pause? No, he's already started recording, but I got to plug in her mic, so let's see what happens here. Let's see.
This is where it all goes to.
This is where the whole show goes to crap. And now I got to give her the camera mic because I need the sound.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I just assumed you didn't want to be on it.
I didn't know you were doing a real podcast.
Okay, let's, there you go. Can you hold it
There
like
you go.
that? There you go. All right, let me just make sure I can hear you through it. So I have a microphone that goes to the camera. Hold on, I'm gonna test out the capabilities here. Go ahead and talk.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
That's beautiful. Okay. Look at that. All right. Technical abilities.
This is wireless?
That is wireless. It goes right into this little receiver here on the side of the camera. It's pretty cool.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like the world's tiniest little mic.
I know, right? It's pretty cool.
It is.
All right. What was I doing? I was doing something. Oh, I want to see if Cynthia knows the show. Hold on. Let me turn up your mic here. Okay, go ahead and talk, babe. Right?
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, she's on now.
All right.
Okay. Oh, you can't hear yourself.
Oh, I don't need to.
You need to be able to hear yourself.
All right.
Because if you are breathing heavy into the mic, you may
I know
not
I
want
am.
to. do
Am I
that.
breathing heavy?
I'm just saying if
Is
you
that your way
are.
of saying I'm breathing heavy?
I'm not telling you you're breathing
I feel
heavy.
like I am.
You're not breathing heavy.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. Okay, go ahead.
Ow.
Can you hear yourself now?
I can.
Too much?
There you go. Hi.
Do you want it up higher?
No.
Don't you guys love this? Isn't this great? Hand me your little mic.
There we go. I got it.
Seems like you're multitasking too much.
I just couldn't fix my headphones because my hands are full of microphone. I'm good.
There's too much ping now. Okay.
What is
There's
this?
so much noise. Okay.
You can edit this, right?
I cannot edit this.
I'm sorry. I'm good. I'm totes good.
Are you?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Positive.
I'm absolutely positive.
Okay, cool. All right. Anyway, let me look into her. Hold on. This guy. Open Messenger. Oh my God. Why is Meta so weird? Like Facebook Meta is so weird. It's like I just want to see
Are we still calling it that?
from Nick. Opalwalski, he wanted me to... He was sending me messages, and now I cannot see them. Hold on. Okay, here we go. He wants me to review the old television show Supermarket Sweep. Do you remember Supermarket Sweep? Well, let's see. He wanted me to kind of bring this up because this is like a piece of nostalgia. I think I have like so much fan, by the way, going. There we go. Oh,
So much better.
oh my God. I'm
Isn't
horrible.
that where they had to like go racing through a grocery store to put stuff in their shopping cart?
Yeah.
I do remember that show.
Supermarket Sweep. The YouTube won't even get this sound, but I'm gonna play this anyway because, you know, I mean it should be right. But this was one of the episodes here. Oh, it's like all on YouTube. That's interesting. Hold on. Here we go.
And we give it away time and time again. Since $5,000 is serious money, you have to do some serious shopping to earn that $5,000.
It's only
Is to
$5,000.
shop faster
That's not even
and
rent
smarter
in
than the
California.
next person.
I really did
Go
watch
ahead.
this show.
Grab
I know, I did
everything
too.
You can get your hands on. Then fill up your cart as high as you can. Sure, it may look like hard work, but you know
Yep.
what? It's a lot of fun too. When you win the $5,000, sometimes you get carried away, and sometimes you'll even be moved to tears. So
Was that
get
the
ready,
same guy from
because
Double
you
Dare?
never know what's
No,
going to happen.
that's Mark
on
Summers.
Supermarket.
No, this
like
one, this one, I don't even know much about the history. He wanted me to review it, so I guess in a future episode, we'll probably review it. I don't know. It's just something he brought up to us and said that, you know, he's been a fan of our show. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Nick. Hey, what's up, Nick? Thank you for listening to the show. So, but yes, we'll review that show. I think that's a show that me and Cynthia would like.
Yeah, I would absolutely still watch that.
Yeah. I did want to bring up the fact that, okay, so my stepdaughter, but also Cynthia's daughter, Miranda, she loves animals. And this is a story that made me laugh. I was at I was at work, I think, or I know I was busy. I don't know. We weren't together for some reason. I was somewhere. Yeah, I was working. That's where I was. I was working.
Let's say if you're not with me, you're working.
Yeah, I was working. So I get a text that she is really into, you know, she's into animals, and that she was like watching different YouTubes on fishing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, Mr. Nostalgia, right? Let's go ahead." And I go, just introduce her to Steve Irwin. She would love him.
And my initial thought was, oh, absolutely, I should do that. How have I not done that yet?
And then what happened?
So she's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Search him up. Click on this video that because she was already watching videos on alligators. So I think, oh,
Yeah.
she likes alligators. She'll want to watch this. And yeah, it immediately flipped to he's walking out of a bush dragging a dead piglet in his hand.
I didn't know Steve Irwin did this kind of stuff.
I didn't either.
I thought it was all like
old
very.
school.
I thought it was very much like he was going to be like, "Oh, crikey! You know, look at that cloaca on that gator." You know, like I thought he was going to be.
What's a cloaca?
You remember the cloaca? We looked that up like last year,
did
2
look
years
that up,
ago.
didn't we?
No, that's the privates of a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think gators have cloacas. I think they actually have penis and vagina. Pretty sure.
I don't know. Okay, I feel like if dinosaurs evolved into birds,
Yeah,
the alligators can't be that far off.
got it.
That's my science thought for the day.
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
clearly did not watch the episode.
Do, 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 do. The more you know with Cynthia. No, yeah, I found that to be funny though. The one video you did pull up is that he's feeding a pig to the gator.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not kidding. Like when I tell you this little girl is like, there's a fly in the house, and then we get the fly swatter. No, don't kill it. Don't murder the fly.
Like if she sees a spider, she's like, "Mom, we have to
She
catch it and put
names
it
it.
outside."
She names it. She wants to keep it for a minute. And then you have to tell her, like, well, no, humans will kill this thing. Like, we'll kill it. We don't know what it eats. We don't have the environment it needs. It needs to go live in its own place. She's like, but why?
Right.
She loves it. So, yeah, watching a little piggy being fed to Steve Irwin was one of my favorite things this week. That was really good.
Yeah. No, that broke her.
Were you a Steve Irwin fan growing up, though?
I wasn't exposed to it.
You weren't exposed to it at all, like even in school?
Well, okay, when I moved in with my mom when I was 13, she was a Steve Irwin fan. So when I turned 13, yes, I was a Steve Irwin fan. But before that, no, I didn't learn about it in school or anything.
Got it. What's the matter?
Nothing, my sound is changing.
Your sound is?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like I hear me differently.
Sorry, can you hear yourself now?
Now, yes.
You can hear good?
Yes.
I'm trying to turn down. I have a lot of echo
I
for
sound
me.
sultry.
I sound sultry?
Yeah.
Ooh. Like that?
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Never mind.
Hey, baby.
Go back.
No?
Backtrack.
Oh. Hey, baby.
Abort. No,
Hi,
thank you.
baby.
When are you gonna review my show?
What show?
My apparently didn't come out until like 2006 show that I remember watching in like the early 2000s.
What is that show?
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I didn't know that this show existed up until like a year ago.
Because apparently he was too cool for Cartoon Network.
I wasn't watching Cartoon Network. That was not my nostalgia. I didn't watch Cartoon Network. But also, like, I'm a weird person. Like, I can watch South Park and think the animation is... You can get pie. I don't know. And the animation is clearly horrible.
I was like,
But
cannot watch
because-
South Park and
But because the writing's so good,
right.
I let it go. And also, I feel like the animation kind of makes it work.
That's Cartoon Network, yeah.
Yeah, no, Cartoon Network,
Yes.
I just see Powerpuff Girls, like the big eyes and the sideways. They look like Picassos. Like pointing noses.
You know, Picasso really made something of himself with that artwork.
Apparently, yeah.
Dexter's Laboratory.
I was with the guy, though, like on the Titanic when he was like, he won't amount to anything. He won't. You know, like I wouldn't have thought Picasso was going to be anything great. I really wouldn't have. I mean, honestly, like, truthfully, how many people do you see, like, have art talent and you think, like, oh, they're the next, like, fucking big artist? You would
All
never
of my
think
children.
that. Well, the children, yes. But what I mean is, like, if you were to walk, like, the streets and you saw, like, an aisleway of, like, people painting the same thing, you would just think they're all like, okay, dude, whatever. Like, Leonardo, who drew the Mona Lisa, there is nothing spectacular about that painting. There isn't. It's just a woman that's just kind of, you know, staring at him. And it's like world renowned as like one of the greatest paintings that ever existed.
Well, that's another Mandela effect.
Why?
Just like my show. Some
Oh,
people remember her smiling, some people don't.
what do you remember? I remember her not smiling.
So, there's a movie called Mona Lisa Smile,
Yeah.
and I absolutely love it. Mm-hmm. And it's a period piece. You would love it too.
Got it.
But I specifically remember watching that, and there was this broad comment about how she wasn't smiling, but there was something to her. I remember her face from that, and it wasn't really a smile, but there was like her face had a mood behind it,
Got it.
but not smiling.
She had like a smirk.
But it wasn't in her lips.
Interesting. Wonder when other Mandela effects affect us. Let me think here. Are you hearing like every ping that I do? Like when I do that, do you hear that?
No.
Why am I hearing everything so much? Like I'm hearing everything. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, we're still working out the kinks.
I don't know. I'm learning. Well, it's also hard too because the podcast now is like mobile. So,
I do have my own Mandela effects that I seem to be alone on.
what?
I remember the Welch's grape juice kid was not the little rascal that everyone else remembers.
No. I remember being a little blonde girl. The Welch's commercials was a little blonde girl to me.
There was a little blonde girl, and there was also a little boy from, like, even, like, Google it now. It'll show you the little blonde girl, yes.
Yes.
And, I think it was Spanky from the Little Rascals. I don't remember
know.
their names, but the main boy.
I don't know,
Not
but it all
Alfalfa,
turned
the
out
other
that
one.
all those kids grew up like effed up from the Little Rascals from the 90s. Like they were all like, you know,
Yeah. No.
violated in the 90s by
Yeah.
the adult producers.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about it. All right, let's jump on this segment here because I want to get into this. I want to kind of talk about these nostalgic questions to ask, right? So when I'm going to have guests on the show, like Cynthia probably won't be on the show next week because I have to go out to Retro Gorilla and do the interview, and I don't think you're going to come along. Maybe you will. I don't know. It's on Sunday that I'm doing the interview.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, see, probably not. So, I'm going to ask these questions. You tell me what you think of these questions, but I want you to answer them.
Okay.
So these are interview questions. I'm going to interview her.
Oh, me? Okay.
And then I'm going to answer.
Okay.
I'm going to answer too.
Okay.
Okay? You good? All right, number 1. What is your favorite childhood toy and why? What was your favorite childhood toy and why?
Does my bicycle count? I lived on that thing.
I mean, is a bicycle a toy?
No.
Not really. I don't think it's considered a toy. It's a vehicle.
All right. For
Get
me,
your-
then it was. I'm having a really tough time choosing between Polly Pocket and Puppy in My Pocket.
Puppy in My Pocket. I don't remember the theme song for Puppy in My Pocket. Let's see.
Apparently, it was a TV show, and I had no idea.
Puppy in My Pocket was a TV show?
Yeah,
No.
it was.
Let me see. Da-da-da. Puppy in My Pocket. Here's a commercial. Let's see. From the 90s? This is... I don't know what this
definitely
is.
not the commercial.
Here we go. Oh my god. Other YouTubers are fun. Nope. Okay, hold on. I'm just horrible at this. Let's see, and here
Is
we
this a commercial?
go. It's like a little...
Deep in the jungle, a big surprise awaits. Go explore and you may find lots of exciting playmates. They're itty-bitty and so soft and pretty. They love to play, hide, run, and meet at the jungle treehouse for even more fun.
Do you remember this?
Discover
This
your
was
wild
Jungle
side
in My
with
Pocket, which was like what came up after.
How about this one? This one looks kind of retro. Here we go.
Kitty in my pocket, lots of kitties for me.
25 adorable kitties to care
Kitties
for.
in my pocket, lots of kitties for me.
Now I can take them all home with me.
I don't know.
There it is.
Teeny tiny fuzzy pups, itty bitty, soft and pretty. Let's collect them all up. I can put them in my pockets, any place I can think of. Where and share everywhere. Inside puppy love, so soft, so sweet. Just feel. Puppy in my pocket, so real.
Yeah, so real.
So sweet.
So sweet.
My pets.
My pets.
You're my favorite pups to collect.
Puppy in My Pocket, each sold separately.
All right.
Yep.
Puppy in My Pocket. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I collected those.
All right, so that's your favorite toy?
That was my favorite toy, yeah.
All right, number 2. Your best memory from your childhood and why? What
I
is your
took you
best
there.
memory? What?
To the, so shortly after Justin and I started dating, I made him go down to the street that I grew up on down in San Diego. Mm-hmm. And it was this cul-de-sac, and if you walk down this little path into
Oh, yeah.
this ravine,
I remember.
what would you even call that?
An alleyway. It was an alleyway.
It was a canyon. Growing up, we called it the canyon.
Well, so you had... We're talking about the cul-de-sac and then the little spot in the back, right? With your tree?
My weeping willow.
Yeah, that was like a... you called it the canyon, and it was like, it's in your mind to a little girl that would be like a mythical place. Like it was just a
It
beautiful
was.
little spot, and
With
then
this
as an
weeping
adult
willow.
coming in the back, it's like, oh, this is where children come to die. This is where they come to get kidnapped.
It was literally a homeless camp.
Yeah,
I
it was
didn't
like
know it.
it's like an embankment for like the rain overflow.
Mm-hmm.
Is like right there. There's like bamboo trees for some reason growing back there, and no one
Yeah.
really can explain where the bamboo comes
I
from.
remember the bamboo from when I was a kid. It was there then too. Yeah.
But I remember you showing me the area, and I remember thinking, how did you survive? How did you live?
I don't know.
How did you not die?
Sheer luck.
All right.
But that area back there.
But what's your favorite memory? This was a specific question as to a memory. Like you think about this often as your childhood. I know your childhood was off its rocker sometimes, but I mean, do you have a memory that you're just like, that's my favorite memory of being a child? We're not emotionally damaged. It's okay. I am too.
They're all traumatic memories.
Are they traumatic? You don't have any happy childhood memories? Like, just like a gift you got, a trip you went on, like just something you saw, anything. Like, I could give you one that I think should be a good memory for you,
Okay.
because you mentioned it, your bike.
Well, yeah.
That's a great childhood memory.
But, and I was thinking about my bike, but no one would teach me how to ride it, so I had to go outside and teach myself how to ride it. So that's my memory of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it's all very negative. Okay.
No, because I was really proud of me. They
No,
told me you can't teach yourself how to ride a bike.
And you taught yourself
And
how
I
to ride a
did,
bike. Look at
yeah.
you. No wonder you are the way you are, though. It's probably why I love you so much, though. Because you
What?
just, like, you don't need help with anything. Like, I love to help you, but you innately are like, I don't need help with anything.
Yeah, I don't need help. I'm the one that helps.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll skip that question then.
All right. Okay. You know what? Honestly,
Okay.
my auntie Bone
Yeah.
and walking her dog Chance on the beach boulevards
Okay.
down in San Diego.
How old were you around that time?
Probably 7 or 8.
See, that's a childhood memory. That's
Yeah.
sweet. No, your aunt's pretty great.
She's amazing.
I love your
her.
aunt. She's great.
She is.
All right. Favorite celebrity from the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. So if you had to pick one from the 80s, one from the 90s, and one from the 2000s, your favorite celebrity from each.
80s.
80s.
Oh, jeez. How do I even do that?
I don't know. It can even be like Mr. Rogers.
I didn't watch that.
I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Celebrity from the 80s.
Yeah.
I was so young. I really can't think of.
This dead air is so good.
I know. I'm not the right person for this. I'm not good at being
Well,
put on
I'm
the
testing
spot.
out the questions. You're supposed to help me. All right.
Okay, you
Think
know
of the
what? I'll
think of
tell
the
you
80s.
this.
Did you watch
People
it?
need to have the questions ahead
Did you
of time.
watch The Cosby Show? Did you watch Roseanne? Did you watch anything like from the 80s? No, nothing from the 80s. Okay, let's go to the 90s.
Was
Okay.
The Simpsons? No, that was a cartoon.
They started in 1988. I mean, I guess you could go with a Simpson character. It's your favorite. It's not a specific.
Yeah, I can't do 80s.
You can't do.
I just
Okay,
can't
let's
think
do the
of anyone.
90s. Favorite
Okay.
90s celebrity.
At the time, it was JTT.
Jonathan Taylor
Oh, yeah.
Thomas over Robin Williams over Tom Hanks.
At the time,
Really?
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. You said, "Oh yeah." What is that? What was that?
yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
was a
jealous of
little girl.
JTT. Well, I'm glad he looks like shit now. All right. I'm just kidding. JTT was. I used to like that movie Tom and Huck.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Yes.
That was a good one. Tom and Huck with Engine Joe. God, that's a pretty fucked up name.
Oh.
Engine Joe.
What was that terrible movie he was in, like Into the Jungle or something?
Jungle to Jungle? That's
Yeah.
not JTT.
I swear it was when I was a kid.
That
This
is not a
another one of
Mandela.
those
That is not a
things.
Mandela effect. That was like clearly a different kid.
No, when I was a kid,
You're thinking because of Tim Allen was in that movie.
it was Tim Allen and JTT in that movie.
It is not JTT.
It
It
was.
was not JTT in that movie. If you're honestly, if you're
I'm on
anybody
some
listening to the show,
alternate timeline.
if anybody is listening to this show right now and wants to correct Cynthia, you can email us at eatmyshortspodcast
You
at
can email us
gmail.com.
at frightoff.com.
Well, I think you're not
It's
going
my
to get.
timeline.
If you go to frightoff.com, I don't think you're going to get what you think you're going to get. So, I don't know. I don't think so. All right, so JTT in the 90s, 2000s.
God, that's a whole, like, there's a long time period there.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay. I will say my favorite actor of all time is and always will be Robin Williams. So
Yeah, Robin Williams is
wherever you
great.
want to stick him in there.
Okay.
Like, because
That's
he
what
was
she
all
said.
of it. He was,
Ta-da. Oh, wait. There it is.
what are the other buttons?
I don't know. I'm scared to press them. I'm scared
Okay.
it's going to fuck something up. All right, I'll try it. Here we go. Yeah, that's jazz hands or something. That's like, hey, I got a guest, and then you introduce them. It's like, welcome everyone, Cynthia to the show. And then you do the woo, and everyone just waves at you,
I need clapping.
and then this. Yeah, that's like me going, and we'll be right back, or we're back after this break, and we're back, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you got this. Oh yeah. So let's see if it plays at the same time. All right, Cynthia comes to the show. No, it doesn't do
No.
it at the same time. We're gonna have to do this. And I shake your hand.
Yeah. And then I sit down. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
How long does she say thank you for before she goes, okay? Okay, so I guess those are sounds. I guess I can upload sounds on this thing. And then I can change those, but I think I'm going to just keep them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they work.
Sounds pretty good. Okay. Number 4 of the questions. All right. What is your go-to nostalgia snack, and does it still exist?
Oh, it would have to be cereals. Like
Okay, but what-
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch was your go-to snack as a kid?
Yeah.
Cinnamon Toast?
Well, I love Cinnamon Toast, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, I mean, yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the cereal, is your
To be
go-to.
funny, I still love Kix just because I had to eat it so much as a kid.
Got it.
And shredded wheat and grape nuts. Like the cereals that I
You
had
never
as a
buy
kid.
it. We go to the store all the time and never see you go, oh, I want to buy some Kix.
You know why?
Why?
Because I know it's going to get a lot of ridicule in the house. Like,
Oh, because well, here's the thing. Here's the thing is that I give you ridicule because you wouldn't buy the kids cereals like for years.
I would buy them Kix and
The
shredded
oldest
wheat and grape
AJ
nuts.
complained to me once and said
Oh, God, this is a terrible story.
he said that it used to be Christmas gifts that they would get a sugary box of cereal. And yet here you are saying, oh, Cinnamon Toast Crunch was my go-to childhood cereal.
It was.
And you grew up to be a mom that was like, nah, not on my watch.
I
Healthy
gave them the
eating.
cereals that my grandma gave me.
All right.
Okay, I have 2 childhoods. You have to know that. I had my grandma's childhood and
That's
my mom's
true.
childhood.
That's
and those
true.
were complete opposite ends
You
of the
lived
spectrum.
a very interesting life. I could do a whole podcast on your life. I should do a
Let's
podcast
not
on
do
your
that.
life.
Let's not do that.
Oh my God, we'd be so famous. This is getting me nowhere apparently, but your story would be so good.
It's not.
I
It's
don't
a
know.
lot of really bad stories.
But to be fair, you get to interview me right after this. You get to
Okay.
interview me the same
Am I
questions.
asking you the same questions?
You can ask me the same question. You can interview me
should
if
have
you
asked you
want.
first.
You can ask me any questions you want.
Okay.
I'll answer. We'll do that.
Can we do it off the mic?
Well, because there's the thing is, that's different. Hey, get your feet out of there. Ooh. All right. Let's go. So Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay, number 5, and this is the last one. If you could go back in time and relive one day, which is it and why?
I can't do that. I can't even begin to think about that one. I will spontaneously combust on your no. Can't.
These are going to be some messed up questions to ask people if they're having if they had a rough childhood.
Yeah.
So be prepared. If you are a guest coming up on Eat My Shorts podcast, these 5 questions are going to be standardized questions that I ask at the end of every show. Oh man, she's already.
Sorry.
She's in tears. Are you okay?
I'm not okay. Yeah, I am okay.
I'm not okay.
Not crying.
Oh,
I am
baby.
okay. No, sorry.
I did not mean
It's
to make you
okay.
sad.
I know. I'm the wrong person to ask these questions to. Okay.
Aw. Well, you know what? I love you.
Love you too. Sorry.
It's okay.
My imagination is too
It's
intense.
very
like I can't.
yeah. If I say dandelion, see, she starts spitting it out like as if I'm handing her the last dandelion. The last dandelion of the season. See, she spits out. That's the sound I get. See, I snapped her out of her sadness, though. You see how I can do that?
That is your magic power.
Yeah, dandelion.
Vivid.
There it is. All right, you want to ask me the questions now?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna give you the book.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on your lap because you have like your hands full.
Who came up with these questions?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are they too emotional?
They work very well for you.
What do you mean?
Well, everything I know about you. The only one. Hang on. Let me.
Well, I figured because I do eat. Let me explain these questions and why I'm going to ask them first. Okay. Eat My Shorts podcast was a message I wanted to get out to geek out for what you want to geek out for, to not be afraid of it, and to actually bring back nostalgia, like to your life. Like if you were a person who is on your 9 to 5, on your day to day, and you are just stuck in the infinite timeline of wake up, go to work, come home, go to sleep, wake up, go to work. If you're on an infinite timeline where you're just like, how do I change this? How do I fix this? the premise that I wanted to do this podcast was that I wanted to discuss, like, hey, wait a minute. At some point, we were not this. We were the kid in our PJs with our sitting crisscross applesauce on the living room floor with our box of cereal, pouring double bowls if we wanted to, watching our Saturday morning cartoons, and then not including that day didn't end. What you did was you got dressed and you went down the street to your best friend's door and you knocked on him and you asked him, hey, Kyle, come out and play. Kyle came out and you guys got on your bikes and you took off. That's what I'm trying to bring back to people, is that, like, hey, you were once this and now you're this, so let's talk about what you once were and what you had. Let's discuss your childhood, because everyone has a story. Everybody has a story, and your nostalgia matters. That's my message here at Eat My Podcast. So I ask these questions because your history matters, and I'm tired of celebrities getting these interviews. You don't need to be a celebrity to be interviewed like this. You don't need to be celebrities to be asked the questions of, like, who are you? You're a curious person by nature. You know, you love interviewing people. You love talking to people. You inspired this for me. When I was like, what do I want to Eat My Shorts podcast to be in 2024? I wanted to be curious about people. Because if you've been listening for the past couple of years, you know Justin is Mr. Nostalgia, Mr. Dorky. We've talked about, like, our top 10s and all that stuff. And it got to a point where Eat My Shorts podcast is completely different now. You know, it's like, okay, let's have some people on the show and let's find out their history. Yes, I'm going to have semi-celebrity people. You know, the former WWE superstar I'm trying to currently work on getting onto the show, which is really exciting. I don't want to hype them, because if it doesn't work, I don't want to disappoint you. But I also have people I've pro wrestled, you know, like, so local wrestlers. I have a commentator and an indie filmmaker, which I truthfully have not seen his indie film, and I want to actually reach out to get it ahead of time before I have him on the show. And then I have these people who are brave enough to start a vintage toy shop or a vintage video game shop, and I want to know the history there, because something sparked that. That takes guts to start a business. You and I know that. So that's what I wanted to do with these kind of questions, is I get to know them as a person. So it's not that it's tailored to me, it's just these are questions that someone, I think, like you're about to, ask me these questions, and I'll answer them. But they're tailored to what I think people should remember. Like, I think that these are memories you should actually bring up and discuss in your time. You know, like when you're just in this age, in this time frame of life, 2024, let's think about what happened in 1994, 30 years ago. Let's think about what happened 40 years ago. However old you are, I want to ask those kind of questions. So,
All right, well, based on that, I have one I'm going to add to this list.
absolutely.
So,
All right.
we'll start with yours. What is your favorite toy and why?
My favorite childhood toy. Honestly, if anyone knows me, it was swords. Specifically, I don't know if you can see my tattoo there on the YouTube, but it is the Sword of Omens. Was my favorite toy as a little boy. I used to carry it around, and I would get in trouble because my Uncle Robert was in a band. He was like in a metal band, hair metal band. And all his like bandmates and, you know, friends would go out to the shows and they'd come back like hungover. And I was like 4 and I would get up super early and they're all asleep in the living room. And Justin's going to put on his cartoons. Like, this is my living room. This is my space. I'm sorry you're sleeping here. So I turn on the cartoons. I'm watching Thundercats and I'm swinging that sword. And if it hit one of the guys, didn't matter. I wasn't going to get in trouble. They were in my zone. So I would like smack them and poke them with my sword and beat them up. And
Did you get in trouble?
No, I never did. Because I would just call my mom and my mom would beat them all up for me. Like if they all said it, but they are like, "Oh, God damn it, get your kid, Renee." And she goes, "No, he can do what he wants. It's his living room. Get out of my living room."
That's right.
And so I would just be playing and I would be jumping on the couch with my sword. I was a little shit, but that was my favorite toy. It changed from year to year, but that was my first favorite toy was my Sword of Omens.
That's ironic. You're still like that.
What? Did I poke around with my sword? Just jumping on the bed with my sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different.
Don't care who you're waking up.
No, that's true. It's very true.
All right.
She's very happy.
I am.
I'm enough.
All right. Your best memory from your childhood and why?
My best memory from my childhood.
Wait, how did you write the question? You don't know the answer.
I don't. It's here's the thing: is these are questions that I don't have it offhand. These are questions that I guess it was just they popped in my head. Like these are great questions to ask people, nostalgic wise, but I didn't really have it in my head. That's why I thought, oh, this would be interesting. I should answer these questions if I'm going to be out there asking people these questions, right?
Yeah.
So, favorite childhood memory? Is that what it was?
Your best memory from your childhood.
Best memory from my childhood. Okay, I will say. And I know anybody who's watching this is kind of like, oh, did he really have that bad of a childhood? It's not that I had a bad childhood. It's just something you don't stop and think about. You know, like I'm not gonna say like I had a terrible childhood. I think that for the situations that I was in, and for the situations my family was in, they, you know, we survived. We did our best in life. But you know, I would say my favorite childhood memory is like a compiled of a certain time of year, and it was when we were pulling out Christmas decorations. Every year we'd pull out the Christmas deco, and my grandma would sit on the couch, and her favorite thing to do was untangle the lights and test the strips. So she would untangle the lights. My mom was very cheesy. She'd put on her PJs, and she was always in her big silk PJs. Like, I don't know how to explain it. My mom just flowy silk
still like that.
top and you know, but like pants and just like her silk PJs. And she would put on Christmas music, and I mean like I like Robert Bublé, you know, like that kind of like I'm dreaming of a white. And we would have gotten our Christmas tree, and I'll even say, yeah, my young childhood to even teenagehood, these were my favorite moments of my young life. And we're decorating the Christmas tree, and my mom's criticizing how it looks, like the tree's crooked, turn it this way. You know, it would anger my dad or my Uncle Robert, you know, whoever was helping us put the tree up when I was little. And then when I became a teenager, it was me having to move it, and I'm getting mad at her. But we're hanging, and you couldn't hang the deco anywhere you wanted. Like, you couldn't have two ornaments too close to each other. Everything had to be sporadically spread out. And then my grandma would pull out the
You mean methodically spread out?
what did I say?
Sporadically.
It was pretty sporadic, but I guess methodically. It wasn't methodical because my mom didn't have a plan. She just didn't like where it was.
Right.
So it had to kind of be like spread out is what it was. Like you couldn't have like two red orbs together, two red bulbs. It had to be a red and a green and a blue near in the vicinity. They couldn't all match. And so
that's funny because that's how I am.
I know. And you just recently told me that. And I was like, oh my God, I've been just like rebelling against society, putting whatever I want on this tree, letting the kids go nuts. And you're like, oh my God. You're just not vocal like my mom was. My mom would sit on the couch, music, be having her drink with her snacks, and just directing everyone's decorating.
I mean, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, my
I'll
mom.
try that next time.
That's what my mom used to do. And if I really stop and think about it, though, what I wouldn't kill, what I wouldn't do to experience that one more time.
Yeah.
You know, just have that moment with my grandma and my mom and my little brother in our house. Just the four of us doing our thing. Yeah.
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 That sounds lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Wow. These are tough questions. Get ready, folks.
Your favorite celebrity from the 80s?
Pee Wee Herman. That's easy.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Pee Wee. What was a toss-up for me? I love Pee Wee Herman from the 80s, but I also loved, and not for the reasons people think, Elvira. I used to love Elvira because it was like a taboo show to watch. Elvira's movie Macabre would come on really late at night, and also with Tales from the Crypt. Those two would come on like side by side. Mm-hmm. And those were kind of like, ooh, you're not supposed to be watching this. And I would, stay up with my Uncle Robert, like his band. I would, get up and it would be on or something. And they all liked Elvira. But I used to like her movie. But Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's Playhouse, that was like my jam. So Pee Wee was the 80s.
Got it.
Yeah.
How about 90s?
90s. Jim Carrey.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Carrey was in everything in the 90s. Like Ace Ventura, Dumb and Dumber. The Mask was one of my favorite movies. Truman Show, like he ruled the 90s to me. Like as much as I love Robin Williams, as much as I love like Tom Hanks, Jim Carrey, bar none, is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yep.
And 2000s.
Early 2000s, it was Eminem, Slim Shady. Yeah, Eminem, it's the whole Slim Shady thing. Like, I was rebellious, and he just kind of spoke to, I think, our generation. Like, me and you have talked about that, just me and you in the car, about how Eminem was kind of like speaking for our generation, like
Right.
the parenting that may have happened, or the hardships, especially you. Like, you really had a very almost, I don't want to say identical, but a very close like childhood that Eminem kind of had.
Oh, yeah. I felt like he was telling my story.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
so I could see how you loved him a lot too, but Eminem was definitely like, I don't know, he just kind of spoke to the generation that we were. So yeah, I'd say early 2000s it was definitely Eminem. Yeah.
He was amazing. Okay, so your go-to nostalgia snack.
My go-to nostalgia snack. Okay, I'll go with one that I know still exists and one that doesn't exist anymore. My go-to nostalgia snack that still exists is Black Forest gummy bears, but they're not exactly the way they used to be. Like, they still exist, but the way the bears are, they're a little bigger, like, and they're softer than Haribo gummy bears. So, like, but Black Forest gummy bears back in the 90s were way better. Even up to recently, I think it was only like 8 years ago they changed the recipe, and they changed the way the bear looks. So it's a little fluffier. It's a little, like,
I wonder why.
fatter. I think that Haribo, or like it was something that they wanted to be different than the other gummy bears, because if you notice how other gummy bears all have the same shape, they're all like identical to what they look like. I think Black Forest, for some reason, I don't know, just probably wanted to be different is my guess. They just look different. They taste the same, but they look different. But the snack that was my go-to as a kid was String Thing.
Yeah.
I love String Thing. That was really good.
I wish they'd bring that back.
String Thing was really good. I love String Thing. It was on paper and you pull it off and it was like in shapes, and I don't know. I still like Fruit by the Foot
There's
too.
something really satisfying about it.
Yeah, you bought that whole case of Fruit by the Foot, and I'm like, it's almost like how I'd eat String Things. I would pull it all off, and then
Yeah.
I would just just let it hang, and then you
Yep.
sit there and eat it a little bit by little bit. It's really fun. So.
Yeah, same. You try to do that with what was the gum? Fruit by the Foot? No.
Bubble tape?
Bubble tape, thank you.
Bubble tape. Yeah.
You could only get so far on that.
There was once a kid who brought bubble tape and then was a monster and took the roll out and bit the side of it. Yeah.
Oh,
Ruined the whole
That
thing.
hurts.
Yeah, we were just like, what are you doing? It was horrible.
oh, why do I kind of want to do that now?
Because you never have. It's almost like being a rebel and biting a Kit Kat, like not breaking it up.
No, I'm sorry. You cannot eat.
Well, it's the same thing.
No. I'm the opposite on that.
You think you shouldn't
I
eat a Kit Kat.
cannot break and just eat that
Like
little.
that.
It's like not satisfying. You have to take a whole chunk bite.
A whole chunk bite.
A whole chunk bite.
Got it. So you like the Kit Kats, like,
If I open a Kit Kat, I'm just taking a bite. I'm not breaking anything.
really? I didn't think you were that kind of person.
It
I
annoys
don't
me.
know who I'm engaged to.
Well, you better figure it out.
My God. That's dangerous.
It is.
All right. Next question.
All right.
Is this the last one?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, no, because then I'm going to ask you.
Oh, okay.
If you could go back in time and relive any day, which and why?
Oh, man. One singular day. That's tough. Childhood. Let's stick to childhood. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't want to go back. I'd relive the day I met you. I think that'd be fun to go see.
I love you.
But if I'm thinking childhood, Oh, that's easy. My first ever WWE event. That was very exciting for me. That would be fun. As a child, that was life changing to me. I was a huge Bret the Hitman Hart fan. My mom and dad took me to the Anaheim Pond, and we had, ironically, floor seats, like the 7th or 8th row back. And I couldn't see the ring because everyone was standing, so I had to stand on the chair. And they kept telling me to get down, like the you can't stand on the chair, and they would walk away. And my dad's like, get back on the chair, and I would get up and I'd be cheering. But it was also the day that I discovered that pro wrestling was a work.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I watched it on TV, and then I went, and it just hit me. So I'll tell you the moment it hit me. So I watched WrestleMania 10 where Bret Hart against his brother, and I was like, how does this work for family visits and stuff? Like, the brothers are feuding, they're fighting.
Right.
So I went into WrestleMania 10, 1994. It was March or April, I think, is when the event happened. And my tickets were end of April, June. So it was like right after WrestleMania, and it was a rematch between Bret and Owen. Difference was Bret's the champion. So the title was on the line, and Owen was going to face him. So I'm like, oh. And the match started going, and it was almost identical to what was on WrestleMania 10, step for step. I had watched the tape so much that I knew step for step where the wrestlers were walking, how they were locking up, how they were, there was a moment of like that realization, when you're just like, what? No. Like, and like that. But I would relive that day because it was so amazing to see. I mean, to see Bret Hart young in his prime, to see Owen Hart alive, to see my heroes like in my face. That was cool. Great experience. It was the one time my mom and dad took me to a wrestling show. And I think every little kid wants that like memory of like, oh, I'd like to be with both my parents at the same time. And
right.
Where we did a lot of things together, that one was special because it was just the three of us, and it was a big deal to me. So that's the day I think I would relive as a kid. Maybe right off the top. I'm sure that my brother's listening going, what about the day I was born? That kind of thing. No, you took attention from me, so no, I'm not reliving that day. I had
guilt for not bringing up my brother for that too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember that day fondly, but no, I guess I'm selfishly, I'm gonna say it's that. So yeah, that's my questions.
All right, well, I've got one more, and I'm trying to find the right way to word it, but maybe you can help me with it.
Okay.
I think it's a good question for your list, though.
All right.
What is something that is not socially acceptable, that was socially acceptable for you as a kid, that stops being socially acceptable as you grow up, that you think should still be okay?
Sorry for breathing so heavy into the mic. Let me think. So, like, what was socially acceptable that I could do as a kid, but I can't do as an adult?
Yeah, that you wish you could bring back.
Playing tag.
Yeah, tag was awesome.
Or asking, and this is, I'm going to blame people for making me realize this over the last couple of years. Asking an adult, what's your favorite dinosaur? Like, everyone's got one. I don't care who you are. Whether it was because of Power Rangers, or it was just because of a science book, or just because Jurassic Park, you had a favorite dinosaur.
Right.
Like, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Archaeopteryx.
What the what is that?
It's a flying dinosaur. It was really pretty in the science book.
Wait, what?
Archaeopteryx.
Archaeopteryx?
Archaeopteryx.
I'm gonna look that up. An Archaeopteryx. What? How do you spell that?
A-R.
Hold on. A-R.
C-H.
C-H.
E-O.
E-O.
P-T.
P-T.
E-R.
Oh, here it is. Archaeopteryx. Let us see. It looks like an eagle.
Yeah.
Whoa. This thing, right? Mm-hmm. It looks like a bird. It's just straight up a bird, but it was huge. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
What's yours?
Oh. Not as interesting. That's for sure. No, I was a stereotypical kid. I liked the T-Rex.
Yeah.
The T-Rex was just cooler. Like, I don't want to say... I don't want to say it just because it was basic, but it really was like the most ferocious dinosaur that we know of. But I think over time I'm realizing it was a giant chicken. As I've gotten older, like the little arms are probably just part of its little wings. So it's probably just a giant chicken running around. But I mean, you wouldn't want to run into a giant chicken. Like if you went outside and you saw a giant chicken looking to peck things,
I'll be honest. If I went outside and there was a chicken at all, I'd probably run.
Have you heard what a T-Rex actually sounded like? That they found a voice box of a T-Rex, and then scientists found out what it actually sounded like?
No.
Okay, so actual sound of a T-Rex. Yeah, this is like one of the easiest search things on YouTube. But this is it right here. Not this.
Like they were so musical.
Just a little commercial for Expedia. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Let's see. I'm just kidding. That's a sound of me snoring, and that. I'm just kidding. No, this is the sound I make when I'm Randy. Hey, baby. Cynthia gets real scared. You know, she's like, "I'm gonna take a quick shower." What a sound, though.
How can they determine that from just analyzing the voice box? That's so crazy.
I don't know. I'm not a.
God, that would be terrifying.
It just sounds like the worst thing ever.
It does. Like, I got chills.
Oh my god. And then, like, you know, obviously the Jurassic Park sound was just like a giant roar, but that was not it at all. So it sounded like that. So it'd probably be the most terrifying animal alive.
Yeah.
It sounds like what it sounds like under the ocean, though. Like, that's what a whales sound like, but it was no, thank you. But a T-Rex was my favorite as a child. So yeah, I guess socially acceptable would be to be like a kid, talk to people, hence the 5 questions.
Right.
You know, like, as a kid, you asked all these questions and people just were like cool with it. But as an adult, you can't just go around and be like, "Hey, what's your favorite hand?" You know, like, and a kid could ask you that. What do you mean, what's my favorite hand? I guess it's my right hand. I use it for everything, you know? And it's like, which my answer actually wouldn't be my right hand. Even though I am a right-handed person, I prefer my left hand, and I don't know why. It's the one I look at the most.
It is a good hand.
Do you have a favorite hand?
I think mine is my right hand.
Like, if you were to look at both your hands and you're like, okay, one has to be chopped off.
I have a pretty bad scar on this one. Okay, I'll go with my left one.
See what I mean? Like, these are acceptable. Like, what's your favorite food? You know, like, you know, you can't really ask these questions unless you're, like, you know, dating. You know what I mean? But
I know.
But if you're on a date, you can't say, like, what's your favorite hand? What's your favorite dinosaur?
Right.
Like, you're gonna probably be like, kind of like, no.
Oh, I feel like you and I could have.
I mean, we could have. We were.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We're weird like that.
Yeah. So, did you like the 5 power questions that I'm gonna ask all the guests?
Yeah. You're
All
not
right.
going to add mine? You should add mine.
You want me to add it?
Yeah.
All right.
think
I'm
it's
gonna
a
let
good
you write
question.
it in. Here, I'll write it in.
I was about to say, my hands are full of mics.
I'm gonna write it in. All right. So, what was it again? Officially, so 6 power questions. Now we're gonna be asking.
Yeah.
What was socially acceptable? Okay, I like that. Yeah.
I don't think you wrote it.
You just made the list. All right.
Wait, you got to ask me.
Oh. Well, what is socially acceptable?
So
That as a kid that you couldn't.
swings.
Which side of it though?
bullshit.
Because I hated the damn kid that you can walk up and just start counting 1, 2. You had to count. Remember? Do you remember that rule in the school? You'd be swinging, and then the rule in the school was if a kid came in front of you while you were swinging, you're like, "Please don't count. Please don't count." And they counted to 10. You had to get off the swing.
Oh, they didn't do that at my school.
They didn't? Oh, they did that at my... Did they do that at your guys' school? Because they did it at my school, where you would get on the swing, and you'd be swinging, just living your best life, doing your thing, and then little shithead Steve would walk over, and he'd just be looking at you going, "I want to swing." And you're like, "Don't." And he'd be like, 1, 2, and they would get to 10, and you had to get off, or the teacher would send you to the bench. That was like a rule to make sure everyone got to swing.
No, at my school, you the first one out there got the swing, and if you got off, then someone else would get on. But
Yeah, no.
if you just never got off, then that sucks to be everyone else.
No. Oh, you know what another game is that we should bring back as adults? Red Rover. Red Rover, send Cynthia right
No,
over.
that one was like Rejection City.
But can you imagine though, like if you're just
How
walking
about
down the
red
street,
light, green light?
we break our hips now.
You know, I actually saw outside of when I was dropping off the kids yesterday.
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw like some parents with their kids playing red light, green light, but they were incorporating, like, instead of just run and stop, they had to do like funny dances while they were moving and stuff like that. It was really cute to watch. I was like, oh, we should play that again.
Yeah, another thing too, I think, is Simon Says. Heads Up, 7-Up, or games like that. Yeah.
We I had to go to my daughter's award ceremony this morning, and they actually had the parents playing Simon Says.
Did they really?
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I'm really good at it.
You
I
were
did.
playing it?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, I'm really good at it.
Huh. That's good.
All of the parents were.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. All right. Well, good. All right. That's good stuff.
Cassidy's not very good at it.
No. All right. Well, we hit an hour. So,
Oh,
yeah.
good for us.
Yeah. Look at us chit-chatting.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's the show this week. Just wanted to try this. I don't know if this is going to be the camera angle forever for YouTubers. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to set it up better. My background's getting cooler. Going to have lights, etc. But I want to thank you guys for listening to the show. Thank you for coming on, babe. Appreciate you.
Of course. I love you.
I love you too. And we're going to have the power questions. I think they're good. Those are going to be then. So next week on the show, expect Retro Gorilla as I interview them next week. But also I have Enoch the Enlightened. I'm going to ask him about that one. His name's Jarrell, but he was he was a full-time SoCal wrestler. He now does managing, and he also manages a local pro wrestling company that I have done commentary for. So I'm going to ask him, why the hell have I not been welcomed back? Whatever. We're going to discuss all that.
To do the commentary?
To do the commentary, yeah.
I thought you were.
I know that they have a show coming up, and I have not been asked.
I thought you couldn't do the last one, so I figured they just
No, I
got
did the
someone who
last
can
one.
travel.
I did the last one.
Got it.
Yeah, I did the last one, so we're going to discuss
You're really
that.
good at it.
I think so.
No, you really are.
I don't know. I hope so.
You are.
Okay, thank you. I love you.
I love you.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening to Eat My Shorts podcast. I'll see you guys next week. What's the outro here? Let's see. I'm on a Green Day kick, so here we go. Yeah, American Idiot. All right, guys. See you guys next week on Eat My Shorts.